Hey guys, Jamiy today on Roblox. We're playing some more Loomian Legacy, as you can see on the screen. Today, I'm going to go over the new balance changes for the weather update. I'm releasing this video a little bit early, before the update actually comes out, because most people already know about these updates, because for a lot of them, I wanted second opinions, so I'm not releasing anything too broken into the game. Especially this early, we only have 3 gyms. We don't need anything stupidly good in this game yet, okay? Even though we have some pretty good stuff, I guess. But anyway, gonna go over the stat changes first. So 2 Loomians have had stat changes and stat buffs, which is gonna be Wobelisk and Metronet. So when Metronet first came out into the game, I asked Lando, hey, what do you classify this Loomian as, or what do you like to classify it as? And the way that he worded it, I thought he just meant it to be a rare event Loomian, and that was it. Although, after oh well, the roaming boost works on it, and asking Lando again, talking to Lando again, I found out, understand, there's a bit miscommunication, I guess. These are actually meant to be event roamers or event legendaries, so because of that, they're going to get a stat buff to make sure that they are, because for their old stat buffs, for their old stats, they're only 610 base stat total, which is the same as Obsidian starters and Tyrex. So now they actually have roamer stats, 650 base stat total. So for Metronet, it's going to get an extra 8 health, 10 melee defense, 13 range attack, and 9 range defense. I don't want to give it any more speed. I feel its speed is good enough. I feel I just don't really want to touch Metronet speed. It's in a good speed tier. Outspeeds Tatab, Garbantus if it's not running very nimble. So I like Metronet speed, I don't want to touch it. But now Metronet is going to hit harder and it has more bulk to work with, although still quad weak to bugs, so don't use it against bug type still. Although on that low, Metronet is going to like this buff a lot more than Metronet. I mean, Metronet gets a hit harder, which is scary, but I think Wobelisk is going to appreciate this update a lot more. So for Wobelisk's stats, it's going to get an extra 30 melee defense, 6 range attack and 4 speed, which is really good for Metronet. I mean for Wobelisk. I keep wanting to call this thing Metronet, I don't know why. Wobelisk, okay. So before this update, Wobelisk's melee defense, let's be honest, complete garbage. If it gets hit by a melee move that is just neutral, don't even talk about super effective, it was basically going to get one hit KO'd or taken down to red. Even though it has a lot of health, it's going to get hit very hard. It only can take resisted hits, and not really many of those either. So now with this melee defense buff, it can take quite a few more melee attacks, which is good. For the range attack, I mean, you're not probably going to run it on the secret ability one, because for the secret ability one, you have Sharpen, so you would rather use melee attacking one. So it's mostly going to be using the ignorant one, I guess. So with your Frost Beam and stuff. So let's say hit a tiny bit hard, which is good. And then for the speed buff, which is only a very small speed increase, but it's actually really good. It outspeeds Bork now. Bork is terrified of Wobelisk now, because I think Bork has 68 base speed, Wobelisk has 69 base speed. So yeah, Wobelisk has some of the harder hitting ice moves in the game, has Frost Beam. Bork is terrified of Wobelisk now, so it's also pretty good as well. And then next up, I guess we'll talk about the move. So we've had one move that's going to get a stat buff, and most people are going to know where it is. It's Coconut Bomb. Because of the move animation, it seems like a really hard-hitting, a super hard-hitting move just for Coconut Bomb, although I'm not going to lie, it's a really cool animation still. So I'm going to buff it again. I don't think I have it in my Volcaloa. I don't. I'll put it up on screen though. So when Coconut Bomb first came out, it was a 70 base power range attack stat. Or range attack. Then I changed it to a melee attack, 80 base power. And then now it's going to get another buff, so now it is 90 base power, so it's kind of a melee version of Nature's Fall, so Thunder Strike. Or I guess actually it's a plant version of Thunder Crash now, it's a lot easier to say. So there's that. It has 100% accuracy now, so hey, that's fine. I don't know why I didn't make it 100% the last time I changed it. I'll talk about it in a second though why. And also the energy is now 45, so it costs a little bit more for that. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't make it 100% accuracy earlier, because it does recoil damage. Recoil damage is way bigger enough of a drawback. Why does it have a accuracy? Why does it have a chance to miss if it has recoil? So there's that. So also it still has recoil and it still has a chance to burn. So that is Coconut Bomb, pretty nice buff. And last but not least, we have quite a few new rally moves that a lot of these Loomians are going to really like. So first off, we're going to talk about Ikazune Lens. So Ikazune is now gonna be one of the best wall breaks in the game. I mean, let's be honest, it already kind of was, but now it's gonna be even better. It has Magnify now, so if you really want to, you could run Magnify, Fire Breath, Thunder Strike, or Electro Burst if you're running doubles, and you could run Energy Surge if you really wanted to. I feel like people would just replace Energize with Magnify and just still run Flash and Flee, because let's be honest, it's still a really good move for Ikazune, and it hits harder still at least, so yeah. Beforehand, Ikazune only had Energize and Burn Up. I actually forgot to mention that one in the last update. It actually has Burn Up, which only gives it +1 range attack stat, which is basically just an extra 50% stat. For Magnify, since you get +2 in one move, you actually double your range attack every time, so like 100%, then 200%, then 300%. Which is really good for Ikazune. So now it can bust up a lot more walls, which is really good for Ikazune. I don't think it's gonna be broken though, because I mean it's speed stats tier, so I think it's still balanced, but it can definitely wall break a little bit harder. Next up, we'll talk about Muchun as well, talking about wall breakers. I was very close to like giving this thing Magnify, but I feel like for right now, Muchun is probably a little bit too good with Magnify. Maybe eventually, we'll see. So yeah, Muchun actually has Peace of Mind, so just kind of like similar how Trumbull has Battle Horn, which is like basically like a bulk up, I guess. So Muchun actually has Peace of Mind now. I think it's fine, but it definitely like will be running like Peace of Mind, Stretch. I mean, now it actually has like a 4th move slot. I've just been running Dodge, so yeah, it actually has a 4th move slot, which is nice now. So yeah, that's gonna be good, like Peace of Mind, Stretch. Don't like downsides that Battle Horn costs a lot more energy because of that extra effect to get rid of status ailments, whereas Peace of Mind is very cheap, so Muchun is definitely gonna like that specific update. Next up is Volcloa. So Volcloa only doesn't get its move buffed, it also gets Brawn Boost. So for this one, I actually left it as like a poll. I was either going to give Brawn Boost to Swolder or to Volcloa, and I let the community decide, and then the other one would probably get it later as a level up move. So Volcloa actually won that, so Volcloa is going to get Brawn Boost, which some people think is like broken, but I mean, its defense is still like aren't exactly super good. So I mean, if you run this thing as like a max speed, max melee type with like no defenses, it gets beaten really easily. And if you invest a lot into like defenses, you're not as quick anymore, and you don't hit immediately as hard. So I still think it's like its drawback, so it's not making it like too good, but that's alright, because right now it only really had like power focus, which like the same as Ikazune. It's kind of like difficult to like make it do stuff after like only spending like quite a bit of energy getting power focus off. Next but not least, we have Kabunga, which also is going to get Coconut Bomb. Right now, only Volcloa has Coconut Bomb. I feel like it doesn't really make much sense to give it to anything else. Like, Taitab is not getting Coconut Bomb. I'm putting that out there right now. Taitab is not getting Coconut Bomb. But Kabunga makes more sense, and honestly, I feel like it'd be funny if Kabunga does the animation. So, Kabunga's gonna get it. Not the event Kabunga, so Wakalaka can't get it, but Wiki Wiki can get it, and Chartiki can get it. So if you want to run like a melee Chartiki, you have Coconut Bomb now as well. Probably not really gonna run it on that. Wiki Wiki, like, could potentially run it, but the recall move, I mean, it probably doesn't, because Wiki Wiki's stats are like the exact same base stat, I think, for like melee and range attack stat. They both suck. But yeah, Kabunga can definitely use it low, because it actually has a good melee attack, but it just didn't have a good melee plant move, so I just never could really want to run it. So yeah. And then last but not least, we have two more, which is Sorche. Sorche is going to get Pyrokinesis and Bane of Haste, which is really good for Sorche, because in this update, Sorche was... where's mine? There it is. Sorche was like kind of struggling this update, because Elemental Burst and Fall Chant, there's a lot of like new metal types in the game. It's been kind of struggling, and a lot more like speed creep on some Loomians. So yeah, it's been like really difficult to hit metal types. So now it has Pyrokinesis, it can actually hit some metal types, which is nice. And also it has Bane of Haste, which it can run it. I mean, if you really want to, you could run like 3 moves Bane of Haste, or 3 moves Health Gift, because let's be honest, Peace of Mind is like very difficult to like use on Sorche. But if you can get it off on Sorche, it's going to hit really freaking hard, but it's really hard to use a Peace of Mind on Sorche because it's so freaking weak on defenses. So yeah, but I'm going to get those. Although, even though it might not use Bane of Haste itself, it can still run it if you really want to for your team. But because Sorche actually gets it, Joltooth finally has access now to it as well, because like I said, when Joltooth first came out, I gave it Bane of Haste as a rally move, but nothing that has Bane of Haste, or nothing that used to have Bane of Haste, could actually be the leader in the rally. So like, You had Pyramid, Wackalaka, I think, Jawtooth. None of them can go in the leader slot, which means you can't reverse rally onto Jawtooth, because you also can't put Jawtooth in the leader slot. So now that Sorchi can have it, you can now reverse rally onto your Jawtooth, and actually, Jawtooth can actually make use of it as itself, like get a sluggish one like 0 speed UP one, and Jawtooth can actually set it up and actually use Baneface itself, which is scary because Jawtooth has a huge melee attack stat, so yeah. Jawtooth probably going to like that a lot, and with that being said, that's all of the balance changes, so hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll leave it off here, see you guys next time.